This right here is the all-new Hyundai i30N, and this is the performance version of the Elantra as known in other markets around the world, and it's a car that delivers fantastic performance, decent practicality and good technology features. And of course in this review I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. First, a brief overview of its model range, pricing and options, and then I'm going to talk you around the changes to the design, and then we're going to move on to the cabin, its technology, the practicality, the powertrain, and then of course I'm going to take it out for a drive. Let's start the video talking about a brief overview about the i30N. So this is the type of car that you're going to compare with the Volkswagen Golf GTI, as well as the Subaru WRX, and lastly the Toyota GR Corolla. And the i30N is priced from $52,000 before on-road costs, and that is the price for both the automatic and the manual. And in regards to options, you have 7 colours to pick from. All of the premium paints will set you back $695 each, and you can also get the i30N with a sunroof, which will set you back another $2,000. Let's now move on to the styling. So the colour of this example is finished off in performance blue, and as I mentioned, the i30N has received a facelift, so it features full LED headlights with signature LED DRLs. And in regards to some of the upgrades with this N version, some of the key changes include restyling at the front, red decals down below, and also this matte black finish. And now moving towards the side view of the i30N, as you can see it features 19-inch forged alloy wheels, and wrapped around the wheels themselves are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. You've also got gloss black wing mirrors, gloss black window trimming and side skirts with red decals down the bottom, as well as this interesting design pattern. And the whole side profile looks very similar to a Mercedes CLA. So overall, this is a very stylish looking car in my opinion. And now moving towards the rear design of the i30N, from the back it features partial LED tail lights, so that means you do have incandescent globes for the indicators and reversing lights. But aside from that, on the boot lid you get this large LED light strip. And in regards to some of the upgrades with this N version, down below it features a rear diffuser along with these big large dual exhaust pipes with these red decals, and on the boot lid a gloss black rear spoiler. Let's now move on to the cabin inside the i30N. So before you climb inside, it features a remote key, keyless entry and push button start. And in addition to that, it also features Hyundai's BlueLink connectivity services. So you have an SOS button up the top here, along with the ability to connect your smartphone to the car to receive remote access and other connectivity services. So the interior inside the i30N, what do we all think? Well, like the standard car, you do have this cockpit arrangement, and in comparison with the standard N line, it features a leather-wrapped three-spoke steering wheel, along with these leather-accented sports bucket seats that really hold you in tight, along with ambient lighting, and being the premium, it also has a glass sunroof. And in regards to build quality, everything feels quite sturdy. Up the top here is hard plastic, and that is the same story of the dash. That's relatively soft, but it does get a bit durable lower down. But the center console is soft enough, and even the door trim along here. And overall, for a performance car in this price range, I still think combined with the equipment you get, it is pretty good value. And if we move on to its comfort features, the driver's seat has electric adjustment with lumbar support, along with these memory buttons on the door panel. However, manual adjustment for the passenger seat, but both the front row seats can be heated and ventilated, and the steering wheel can also be heated as well. And lastly, it also offers manual tilt and reach adjustment. And moving on to technology, it all runs off this 10.25-inch display, which is a coloured touchscreen. And in terms of controls, you have physical buttons down the bottom here, physical dual zone climate control buttons, and physical buttons on the steering wheel as well. And the system itself is pretty straightforward. This is what it looks like through the menus. And in regards to its key features, if I go into media, it has FM, AM and DAB radio, along with Bluetooth, USB connectivity, satellite navigation with 3D mapping, and overall that display is pretty crystal clear, combined with an 8-speaker Bose audio system. And in regards to smartphone mirroring, it features both wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and this is what that looks like on the screen. So as you can see, full screen layout and overall pretty crystal clear. And if I just flick it into reverse, as you can see, it features a surround view camera where you can select different views towards the rear, and combined with front and rear parking sensors, along with a rear cross traffic alert. The i30N also features autonomous emergency braking, along with the lane keeping assistant and blind spot assist. However, you don't get the blind spot cameras like you do on some other markets, nor you get adaptive cruise control, but aside from that, it does feature standard cruise control with a speed limiter, along with a lane keeping assist, speed sign recognition, and if we move on to the center, as you can see, it features a 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster, and when you cycle through the different drive modes, as you can see, it is quite configurable, and you can also change the information you want to see, such as your map directions, fuel consumption, radar assistance, media functions, and other key safety items. And moving on to drive modes, if I go into this menu here called N mode, it displays all of the technical details in regards to the engine performance. And if I go into this menu, as you can see, it features a lap timer, and in addition to that, it displays all of the racetracks around Australia. So this is Sydney Motorsport Park, for example, and you can also configure the route as well, which is pretty amazing. And if I just start it up and show you these two buttons, this is a shortcut to change the drive modes, and this button is custom mode, where you can configure the powertrain on how you want it. And lastly, practicality. So we'll start with the glove box. As you can see, it is a decent size that fits the owner's manual. You've also got a wireless phone charging pad down the bottom here, along with a 12-volt socket, USB-C and USB-A port, and towards the center, two small cup holders with a little coffee cup holder that pops in and out, and towards here, there is a small decent storage section over here, and on the doors, decent door bin pockets that could also fit a small bottle of water, and lastly, a small little pocket over here. Let's now move on to the back seats inside the i30N. So as you can see, I've got a decent amount of knee room. However, toe room could be a bit better, but you still get a decent amount of headroom considering that this does have a coupe formed roof shape. And in regards to other key features, you have directional air vents, along with two USB-C charging ports, decent door bin storage on the doors that could also fit a bottle of water, along with a single map pocket behind this front seat. No fold-down armrest, but you still get two ISOFIX points on these two outboard seats, and right behind me there are 3 top tether points. Let's now move on to the boot space. So there's a button here, you just lift this up, and as you can see, it has 464 litres of boot capacity, which is 10 litres less than the standard version, and there is enough space for a large suitcase, and it also has a space-saver spare wheel. But aside from that, it is worth pointing out, like on all sedans, there is a low lip here, and there are these hinges that do impair the capacity slightly, and whilst it's great having these pull-down tabs to drop the second row down, on this N version, it's pretty much useless because you have this stability bar, which is great for rigidity, but not so great if you're moving furniture. But aside from that, I still think this car is pretty practical for its class, so let's now move on to the engine. Let's now move on to the powertrain. So under the bonnet features a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that is paired to an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, or either a 6-speed manual if you go for that option. And this powertrain puts out 206 kilowatts and 392 newton-meters of torque, sending all of its power to the front wheels via a limited slip electronically controlled differential. So with all the specs out of the way, let's now take it out for a drive. The i30N, what is it like to drive? Well, for starters, it has great visibility. I can clearly see what's in front of me. You've also got good side vision, decent sized wing mirrors, as well as decent vision from the back. However, the parcel tray does sit up a bit high, but you do have that surround view camera, which works fine. And in regards to fuel consumption, Hyundai claims the i30N should be able to achieve around 8.7 litres per 100 out of its 47 litre fuel tank, and with a mixture of city, freeway, country driving, I've managed to achieve around 11.5, which is where I would expect it to be for a car in this category. Currently got the car in comfort, so the steering is nice and light, but it's still very direct and very playful. It also has an 11.3 metre turning circle, so it is wide compared to some other rivals, but overall for an everyday car, it is very refined. The suspension is nice and soft going over unsealed surfaces, especially at the front. And in terms of highway driving, again, seats are very comfortable, a little bit of wind noise, but nothing too dramatic. In terms of its steering in sports mode, it does feel very agile when you do have it in N mode. The ride is a little bit more firm, and that limited slip differential does make a difference because there's a lot of power going to the front wheels. So if I just drop down a few gears, a lot of pops and crackles. So what is my final verdict on the i30N? Well, I think it delivers great performance for a car in this price range, and in my opinion, this is definitely something you should shortlist amongst its competitors and even some European brands like the Mercedes CLA 45 AMG. But let me know what you think of my verdict down in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, and I will see you in the next film. Thanks for watching.